Buff Nation!
Let's go.
Welcome in to DNVR Buffs Primetime. We are presented by Illegal Pete's. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations for happy hour, 3 to 6 p.m. every single day. Jake and RK here, and we have another 5-star on the roster, Ryan.
Man, what a crazy, crazy run it's been. And Jake, I had to look this up before the show started. Before Coach Prime got here, there had been 3 5-star recruits in the history of Colorado. There will be 3 5-star recruits on the roster this fall.
That's insane.
Travis Hunter, Cormani McLean, and now Sav'ell Smalls.
Sav'ell Smalls was a 2020 5-star edge. I mean, there's a lot to get into here. Obviously, pretty athletic. I went and watched his huddle last night from his senior year. The guy's playing all over the field, both ways. Had some dominant reps at edge rusher, but at Washington, could never really put it together. Only had 1 start. I believe it's like 30 tackles, and that's about it, really, in terms of stats.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting is, like, I'm curious, when you watched the high school tape, did you see any signs that maybe he was overhyped coming out?
I mean, I thought he was like a little big, like a bit stiff as a runner with the ball in his hands. Like,
okay.
He didn't strike me as like a natural tight end or anything.
Right.
So, but as an edge rusher, I mean, it's just so hard because they have these reps where they just burst through the line, like before the offensive line can even like react to their get off and stuff, and they're in the backfield wrecking plays. So it's like I don't know how to tell. Like he seems to have decent pass rush moves. Like he was spinning on guys. Like it wasn't the same rush every time. But it's just so hard because they're just so much better. But how much better, we don't really know.
Right. And that's the interesting thing with Sav'ell Smalls. Like, you know, he has that 5-star label on him, and that's going to follow him for the rest of his college career regardless. But maybe expectations should be tempered a little bit as to, you know, what he's been so far. Like you said, he has not notched a sack yet in college in 3 years. So he hasn't lived up to that billing, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't be a player for Colorado. And, you know, I feel like I'm probably going to say this 1,000 more times. I've already said it a bunch, but the goal never had to be every player that you bring in with these 30 open scholarships is a superstar. It was just to upgrade. So is Sav'ell Smalls a 5-star athlete, an upgrade over, I don't know, name an edge rusher that transferred out? Even like that played, Guy Thomas.
Right.
Can he be an upgrade over that? I sure think so.
Sure.
I sure think so. So that's what this has always been about. It's hard to not crank up the 5-star hype, you know, but a lot of people think that Colorado fans are being so unrealistic about everything that's going on. I think we can be realistic about this one,
right? Which
is just like, hey, you're getting a fresh, clean slate for an extremely talented and gifted young player. Let's see what happens. And if he can be, you know, if he somehow blossoms into the guy that a lot of people thought he was in high school, amazing. If he just comes in and provides solid depths and, you know, sets the edge and plays his role when he's out there, that's great too.
So just reading up on him online from Washington fans and seeing what they had to say, they said he was solid, you know, playing the run. It was really the pass rushing, obviously, that really was never as advertised. And, I mean, you said it, 0 sacks in his 3 years or whatever at Washington. But it's just, I mean, he doesn't have to come in and start, man. We already kind of know who's going to start on the edge, basically, for this team. I mean, it's going to be Jordan Dominic as, like, your, I guess, quote-unquote star on the edge, like your guy. Sav'ell Smalls doesn't have to be that. Like, he can just be a depth piece, kind of maybe detach himself a bit from that 5-star label, just try and, like, fit in with the team and play his role rather than be this all-world edge rusher.
Yeah, and that's where these clean slates are so big for a guy. Everyone at Washington thinks of him as the 5-star kid.
Right.
And, you know, a school like Washington, maybe they get 1 5-star every couple years. You know, there's only a couple places that getting a 5-star is normal. And it's Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. That's literally it.
Yep.
Where it's like you get a 5-star and that doesn't create like waves.
Right.
You get a 5-star at Washington, even Oregon. That guy comes in with a giant label over him wherever he walks. It's 5 stars. And obviously, that comes with pressure and all sorts of things. When you're in high school and you're just dominating and, you're doing it your own way the whole time, it's a lot different. And so I'm excited for Sav'ell Smalls to just get a fresh start. And that's why I'm actually trying to not slam that 5-star button and just hype it up, because he doesn't have to be that for Colorado. And I think that will be actually a huge benefit to him.
For sure. Also, the transfer portal is just weird, man, because you're going to look at this one and you're going to say, 5 stars, and it's going to get, all the retweets and likes on Twitter because it's 5 stars. But then you look at someone like Jeremiah Brown, who's coming from Jackson State. He might be the more important and more impactful player for this team this next year.
Totally. And Jordan Dominic, Shane Cokes,
Shane Cokes is a great one.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's talking about Shane Cokes.
No. So recruiting is funny because it's all about headlines and names and whatever, where were they offered from. But it rarely works out like that. And I hate to do this to Buffs fans, longtime Buffs fans, but I was just looking through like the best recruits in Colorado history.
Yeah.
Dude, it is a long scroll before you find someone who actually lived up to the billing. It's actually like depressing as hell. You can say Ryan Miller is one of the 3 5-stars they ever had before Coach Prime. Mm-hmm. He was a long-term starter and was okay. That's like the best case, though. You can just scroll down this list and see names of guys who just didn't quite live up to the billing. Jake Moretti, Nick Casa, Ashad Clayton, who was in and out. Max Tuioti Mariner, who we actually just talked about the other day because his cousin or brother-in-law or something along those lines was visiting. He was the one who took a picture with Coach Mack.
Okay.
But the point being, Paul Richardson he's a 4-star recruit who has probably the highest hype he probably exceeded expectations at Colorado. And he's like the 20th guy on this list. Actually ranked below Adam Hopkins.
Wow.
So it's the point being, it rarely works out. I shouldn't say rarely, but it doesn't always work out the way that the recruiting services expect it to. Mm-hmm. And sometimes a guy needs a clean slate. Funny enough, Nick Casa comes to mind. He was one of the highest rated recruits in Colorado history. He's from Colorado. He went to Florida and then transferred back to CU. Reason I bring him up is because he was a defensive end who did not produce at Florida playing defensive end. Came to Colorado, did not produce at defensive end. Ended up switching to tight end and had a very productive senior season as a tight end at Colorado. Ended up making it to the NFL. Played with the Raiders for a few years at tight end, and then even ended up getting a Super Bowl ring with the Broncos. Have I ever told you that story?
No.
So Nick Casa is out of the league. He's living in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
He goes to the Broncos-Patriots AFC Championship game.
Which
2015.
one? Okay.
He's sitting in the stands, drinking, partying, having a good time with his friends. And I think it's Owen Daniels goes down in the game. While he's at the game, he gets a text from his agent that says, "Hey, the Broncos just had a tight end go down. They want to have you in for a workout tomorrow." Goes in, gets signed to the Broncos the week of the Super Bowl. Obviously doesn't play, but gets on the team, gets a Super Bowl ring.
That's amazing.
Got called while he was at the stadium.
It's life goals right there.
It's incredible.
But with Sav'ell Smalls, there's entirely like a timeline or a case where he just breaks out.
Yes.
Maybe he just needs...
Oh, and the reason I brought that up is because maybe he goes back to tight end.
He could do that. Maybe you put him at off-ball linebacker. This is a pretty big guy. 6'3", 259 is what he was listed at last year. Even if you add, 15 more pounds at that point, you could probably play him at the 3 tech or even more inside on the defensive line too. So we're trying to temper expectations a little bit here, I think, but there's also a scenario where this guy could be fairly impactful this year.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice position for everyone, I think. Getting a really talented player in the transfer portal who can come in with low expectations and just be himself and just like try to be a guy rather than the guy.
Right, exactly.
Maybe not try to be that, but get treated that way.
Yeah. Just another one of the dudes. I mean, there's 2 other 5-stars, as you said, on this roster, even if he is treated as a 5-star level, I guess.
And there will probably be more on the way.
Oh, for sure. Let's talk about some portal and recruiting news. But first, shout out to our friends at Pins and Aces, the official golf apparel partner of ALLCITY and DNVR. It's another beautiful day out here in downtown Denver. If you want to hit the course,
It'll be like fresh. 80 today.
Yeah, it's going to be warm today.
Yep.
Look fresh in your Pins and Aces gear. They've got amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and even our favorite beer sleeves. Check out pinsandaces.com and use code DNVR, and you can receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com. Then also shout out to Fubo TV, over 140 plus live channels of sports shows, movies, and news. You can get 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge. You can stream live from any device. Just scan that QR code on the screen right there, or go to FuboTV.com/DNVR for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. I don't think the Nuggets play till Friday, right?
Dude,
what is
my
this
internal
break,
clock is so messed up because I wake up this morning and my mind is just like, hell yeah, Nuggets game.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, nope, not today or tomorrow.
Yes, what the heck?
I think it's because we got a head start on all the other series. So we're our next game's obviously game 3.
Right.
You just had Warriors Lakers game 1 last night. You just had you have Celtics Sixers game 2 tonight. So I think that it's just they were such a head start that they're like, oh, we'll give them some lag.
Yeah.
Let everyone else catch up.
Well, whenever they start playing again, you can watch them on Altitude Sports with Fubo TV. Again, FuboTV.com/DNVR for 15% off. All right, more portal news. We've got a visitor coming in this weekend. Former Purdue cornerback Jordan Buchanan was a 2022 3-star player. I believe he was actually a safety recruit. 1,104th player overall in the 2022 class, 85th overall safety. Out of Sewanee, Georgia. I feel like we've said that name before on this show. I don't know if we have a player from there, but we've definitely talked about that before. Had 5 offers coming out of high school. Of course, committed to Purdue, but also received some pretty high-profile offers from Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, and Pittsburgh. He's going to be coming this weekend, though. Did not play this last year for the Boilermakers. So he's got 4 years of eligibility coming in.
Let's go.
Yep. Next guy. And by the way, this is kind of like, I think we're starting another phase of the portal here. And this is just to go back to Sav'ell Smalls real quick. Kind of just feels like a depth piece at that point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, we're, I believe, at 66 scholarships now.
19 more.
Right. I mean, you obviously have Cormani and some 4-star guys at freshmen coming in. And who knows, maybe you find another, if you believe Coach Prime, what he said, 8 starters, maybe there's 3-4 more starters out there on either side of the ball. But Buchanan looks like a depth guy. I mean, even if Sav'ell Smalls comes in, could be a solid depth guy. And then
Travis is from Sewanee, Georgia.
Oh, there it is. Well, should have known that. And then
There's
this next
so many
guy,
names, places, schools.
It's insane.
Our
man.
brains have been flooded.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think, scroll up a bit. I think Matt, or who said that? Sean said he may be Ray Buchanan's son. Do you remember him?
It sounds familiar.
I believe he played cornerback for the Packers.
Yeah.
He was one of those corners, I think, that had dreads, so he always looked sick when he picked off the ball.
I'm imagining loose arm sleeves.
I think you're on the right track here.
Like number 31.
Let me see. I think this may be it. I don't know. His YouTube. His Wikipedia page doesn't have his kids' names, so I don't know. But we will keep an eye on that for sure.
Dude, there are so many players' sons coming up right now. It feels like all of the kids all of the players that we looked up to as kids now have kids that are coming into college football.
It's his son.
Okay, there we go.
So, yep.
But it's crazy. LeVar Arrington II,
Who we're going to talk about.
Obviously a couple years ago, Pat Surtain II.
Yeah.
You go through it. I saw a post yesterday about like the basketball players. Like Rajon Rondo's kid is like coming up. Carlos Boozer has twin sons who are like ballers. It's like, I don't know. I was not ready for this new era of just everyone's son. Marvin Harrison Jr. is about to be a top 5
Brawny.
pick. Yeah, Brawny, of course. It's so weird.
It's wild.
Did this happen? Like, is this like an outlier as a generation of like so many players' sons being this good? Or did this happen to like, are people who are 50 like, yeah, when I was 30, the same thing happened?
No, man. This feels like way different.
It does, but I don't know. Maybe it's not.
I don't know. I'm not old enough. So Ray Buchanan was teammates with the head coach at Purdue, or the former head coach at Purdue, Jeff Brom, who left for Louisville, I believe.
Yep.
Ray Buchanan played 11 seasons in the NFL from 93 to 2004, Colts, Falcons, and Raiders.
Hell yeah.
So love that. But another depth guy potentially here, former Northern Arizona defensive lineman Zach Blackwood, listed at 6'4", 300 pounds, plays defensive line. Obviously a JUCO recruit, so I don't have much from him on 247. He was a freshman last year. Did not play last year though.
Okay.
But great size at 6'4", 300.
Yeah, kind of interesting. Most of these lower level players that they've gone after are highly productive.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of like the second wave of free agency.
Yeah.
Where you're like just looking for guys to fill out the roster.
Exactly.
But the Buffs have a lot of space. So you'd hope to hit on a couple more big ones. Maybe JUCO,
right.
Bears some fruit for you. Anthony Robinson?
Never say never.
Maybe, there's a couple guys out there who are about to boom, like the D2 kid that I love, Jaquay Jackson. Yeah. But, also we have to remember Shiloh. There's one scholarship. Maybe Caleb, Charlie Offerdahl. So they'll fill out, over time. But it would be nice to hit on a couple more big ones here.
So,
and I'm sure we'll talk about the tight end here in a second.
Barquise Gums?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about him. In high school, though, Zach Blackwood, I'm assuming close to this size, 6'4", 300, finished his career 123 tackles, with 80 of them being solo and 10 tackles for a loss, 6 passes defended, and 1 interception. So that's pretty productive for a big man, bro.
Yep, for sure. For sure.
Of course, it's high school, so we'll wait and see, but he has been extended an offer. Some other just general...
A couple funny ones that people added in the comments. Joey Porter Jr.
Of course.
Someone said, this Shador kid seems all right.
Yeah.
That one was a given. There's a couple other ones that people mentioned. Oh, Carmelo Anthony's son is a baller.
Did we say PS2?
We did. That was the second one I mentioned. This is crazy,
Arch Manning?
Man. Oh, my God. Well, kind of.
Oh,
kinda
that's
counts.
true. Kind of, yeah.
The Mannings will tell you that Cooper would have been a baller if it wasn't for his eye issues or whatever it was.
Yeah, he couldn't play. Sean says Urlacher has a son committed to Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
We'll get to LeVar Arrington's son here in a second, but sticking with the portal. Former North Texas tight end Barquise Gums decommits from Arizona. It was one of the top...
Arizona or Arkansas?
Arkansas, yes. He still is, I guess, one of the top tight ends available in this portal period. He's drawn offers from Arkansas, Oregon, Utah, West Virginia, Colorado, Cal, and FAU. I believe he has a few other visits set up. He's visiting Cal this weekend, which
Don't
come
go
on, yeah. So we'll see. I think though, and I saw this on Twitter, I think he deleted the tweet of his offer from Colorado.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting with Zico. Like, obviously, I didn't think they were going to be able to get him with Zico already here. With Zico out, is there a chance that spot kind of reopens and they can go get Varkey's Gums, which is an elite name.
Maybe, but it sounds like Zico was just already on the way out, though.
Yeah. Someone in the comments referenced his post. I was a little distracted a second. I don't know. I was trying to look for what they were talking about.
Zico's post?
Yeah, like with Zico's post, do you think, I didn't see the full question, but he didn't tweet or post anything on Instagram unless it was like a story that's already gone away.
Could it have been a YouTube vlog or something, maybe?
Oh, that could have been it. Yep.
Okay, we'll look into that. But yeah, Varkey's Gums not going to Arkansas. So Arkansas at least doesn't get one of the guys we've been targeting.
Yes, exactly.
Next guy, I believe did we talk about Cody Epps yesterday, BYU wide receiver? I can't remember at this point.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Okay, so he's withdrawn his name from the portal.
This is going to be my least favorite thing. Players who enter and withdraw within like 24 hours.
Yeah, literally. It's crazy.
I predicted it coming and I'm already annoyed by it.
It's like panic entering the portal then at that initial point.
Right.
Like,
well, I really do think it's testing the waters, finding out your value.
For a BYU kid, though?
Maybe.
Church could be bringing that money, I guess.
They certainly have it.
That's true. Okay. Let's talk about some recruiting. First off, I want to
What if they just start passing around a plate at church, but it's just the NIL plate?
Cody Epps. How bad do you want him? Okay, so yesterday on Twitter, someone tagged Xavier Atkins and Keelan Moses in a tweet. Keelan Moses is a 2025 athlete out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 247 Sports Composite 4-star, 103rd player overall, 4th overall athlete. His brother, Dylan Moses, played linebacker at Alabama from 2017 to 2020. Anyways,
I loved Dylan Moses until he got hurt.
Yep, exactly. He was a good one. The reason I'm telling you this is because in this post he was tagged in, Keelan Moses quote tweeted it with the adding Xavier Atkins with the eyeball emojis. Xavier Atkins responded, "Let me know something, brother," with even more eye emojis. And then Keelan Moses quote tweeted that and said, "I'm on what you on, brother. Let's make that duo happen."
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Xavier Atkins, of course, the 2024 linebacker, still committed to LSU, but was here for the spring game, enjoyed it so much he's going to come back for an official visit.
Speaking of influxes of things like players who have sons who are balling out, also a huge influx of people going by Debo.
Yeah.
I feel like a ton of recruits have in their name.
Yeah.
Got to be inspired by Debo Samuel?
I'd imagine so. I mean, the dude is kind of blazing a trail right now.
Yep.
In multiple ways. What else do we got? All right. I've already mentioned him enough. 2025 athlete.
Also, maybe there's just an influx of kids watching Friday.
There you go. That too. It was posted on full on Twitter. Before it got taken down. Yeah.
That's awesome. I've seen that's a new thing on Twitter.
Yep.
Movies getting posted in full.
Yep, just in full, just right on there. I saw a SpongeBob episode in full the other day.
Yep, like some movie that just came out got posted.
Avatar. Yeah. Oh, Twitter is insane. All right, LeVar Arrington Jr. has been offered by Coach Prime in Colorado. 2025 athlete, listed at 6'2.5", 175. Doesn't have any stars yet from 247 out of Charter Oak High School, Covina, California. This is I believe he said it was his 4th offer, D1 offer. I'm only seeing 3 teams here on 247, Boston College, Colorado, and Oregon State.
All right.
But just for the bloodlines alone, I think we're in on this one, right?
See, a lot of people are saying it is coming from Friday, but that feels like that's from our generation.
Right.
I would hope that more people are still watching it.
Right.
But hey, some movies are timeless.
Yeah, Buffs Realist is in the comments. That is the guy who put that tweet out. It says Debo's his guy.
Shout out Buffs Realist.
Yep. Way to generate some recruiting hype, bro.
There we go. Yes.
Four-star 2025 four-star linebacker Elijah Barnes has been offered by Colorado. On 247 Sports, 92nd overall player, 14th overall linebacker out of Skyline High School, Dallas, Texas. 6'1.5", 215. Has at least 17 offers. Of course, Colorado's in there, but he's got Alabama. He's got Notre Dame. After that, looking at Oklahoma State, Purdue, Florida State, Arizona State.
All right.
Another guy in the fold. Then three more actually. 2025 four-star defensive lineman Nathaniel Marshall. 202nd player overall, according to 247 Sports Composite. 21st defensive lineman. 6'4", 240 out of Fenwick High School, Oak Park, Illinois. I believe this guy also plays basketball at 6'4", 240.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Don't want to deal with him.
Who else we got? Oh, so last guy then. Emarian Stewart. 2024 247 Sports Composite, four-star athlete, 314th overall, 27th overall athlete, 6'1", 180 out of Kenwood Academy, Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, Illinois is kind of coming up on the radar recently.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Chicago's got a nice attitude to it.
Mm-hmm. At least 24 offers. Already has, I believe, 3 crystal balls to Michigan.
I think my boy Chris Brown was from Illinois.
The running back, Chris Brown? Chicago?
Yeah. No, probably not directly Chicago, but around there.
Well, we need someone to come in and run 6 touchdowns on Nebraska.
Yes, yes, please.
But that's it. That's all I got.
All right.
Question time?
Question time.
But first, a word from our friends at Backus and Shanker. Backus and Shanker have been helping those who have been seriously injured in Colorado for more than 25 years. Best part about them, no fees to speak with them, no fees while they work on your case, and no fees unless they win your case and win money for you. And they've won over $1 billion for their clients. They've got neighborhood offices, Denver, Aurora, Englewood, Fort Collins. I believe the saying is if you need to sue, smash the 2.
Yes, that is the saying.
For car accidents, motorcycle, rideshare, pedestrians, trucks, and can even help if you're injured at work. Again, 222-2222. Backus and Shanker wins. Then shout out to Shady Rays. It is a beautiful hot day out here in Denver. I'm going to need my Shady Rays. I think you're going to need yours too.
Yep.
And the listeners can go and grab theirs with one of our best deals of the season. If you go to shadyrays.com, you can use code DNVR for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Shady Rays are also backed by their broken replacement program, where even if you lose or break your pair, they will replace them for free. No questions asked. Extremely durable frames. Polarized lenses. Again, shadyrays.com. Use code DNVR for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
There you go. It was Naperville, Illinois, a western suburb of Chicago.
There you go. We need them.
Yep.
All right, what do you guys want to talk about today?
What do we got from the peeps?
Steven's back. Who were the 5-star players before Prime? Daryl Scott, Ryan Miller, and...
Daryl Scott, Ryan Miller, and Marcus Houston.
There you go.
I didn't have to look that up. I was going to look it up, but it came to me before. And Daryl Scott, kind of a sad story. Like, he ended up being a bust.
Is this the running back?
Yep. Top running back in the country. But one of the things that a lot of people don't know is, like, once he got here, he lost his dog. And his dog was, like, truly his best friend. Mm-hmm. And he was never really the same after that. So it was a sad story. Marcus Houston, we know that story. Coached a little too hard by Eric Bieniemy. Transferred to Colorado State. Never became anything. Ryan Miller actually stayed a Buff the whole time.
There you go.
Then it's not on there for some reason. Maybe because he never played, but a couple of years ago they got a 5-star transfer in Antonio Alfano from Alabama. I believe he was the number 1 edge rusher in the class. Definitely did not pan out at Colorado or at Alabama, of course.
Yeah. I think we've got much better luck coming with these 5-star kids.
Yes.
We got some dogs. Angela, what's up? With CU being able to play sticky D on wide receivers, is the Pac-12 ready for SEC defense? CU defense is going to be fast and big. Yes, they are. And they're going to be multiple, too. Obviously, with Jeremiah Brown, a lot of the guys like Jordan Dominic who can maybe play outside, inside, even Cam who can kind of play in the slot and at safety. I'm very interested to see what this defense actually looks like.
I mean, is it Omarion Cooper?
Yep.
From Florida State? I was watching a Florida State fan talking about him the other day, and like they really liked him.
They were going to move him to safety this year, I believe.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those situations where like they were like, "Oh yeah, he couldn't play. He wasn't he wasn't going to factor in." Like that was one that they were like, "Damn."
Yeah.
They were sad about that. So, Travis, Cormani, him, the safety room is absolutely stacked. Then you bring these edge rushers with Jordan Dominic and Sav'ell Smalls and Jeremiah Brown. Like you can really envision this defense popping off. I'll continue to say that like Demoy Kennedy could be the catalyst to take them from great to elite if he is who I think he is. But even then, you've added to that room a little bit. So
right, it's gonna be a fun defense.
There's nothing. Well, I shouldn't say there's nothing better. But when your team is dominant on defense, it is such a great feeling.
I will never forget that 2015 Broncos team for exactly that.
And if you can put it together on offense too, now you're, talking about championships. But there's just something so nice when you're just like, we need to stop, and you feel like you can get it.
Yeah, when you're just able to fully believe just in the depths of your mind that they're not going to let the offense score, or that they'll get a turnover at some point that could actually turn the game or something. It's pretty special. Next question, the H family. I see that Sav'ell Smalls played some tight end in high school as well. With Zico gone, you think it's a possibility he could see some reps? I'd say doubtful.
Someone would have to initiate that.
Yeah.
Like him or Tim Brewster. Someone would have to say like, man, why don't we try it? What's his height? 6'4"?
6'3".
Okay, so
still pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's an impossibility, but I do think it's sort of a long shot.
All right.
Real Spill TV, Jake and RK, as a first-year Buff fan who will be making my first trip down to Boulder this fall. What's something you guys recommend we do other than the football game?
Oh, man. So many options. So can it be connected to the football game? I would say
they're coming for the game, so
I would say go do the Pearl Street Stampede on Friday night, assuming they continue that. It's just like a cool gathering of Buffs fans. I assume they'll be actually pretty lit this year. Make a dinner reservation somewhere good on Pearl Street. There are dozens of good restaurants down there. But all the players come through. They've got like cool essentially like a Buffs fire truck, like a vintage fire truck. Players are like riding on there. They're walking down. It's a cool little tradition that we have going. And then you're just on Pearl Street for, like I said, great food. There's a good bar scene down there. So that's a good thing to do Friday night. If you're a hiker, it's like the hiking capital of the world.
Right.
Not necessarily my bag, but you can hike up there. At the very least, drive up Flagstaff, I would say.
There you go.
And check out the views from up on the mountains. Just like be up on the Flatirons is a pretty cool place to be.
And then maybe check out the DNVR bar.
Check out the DNVR bar on your way from the airport to Boulder.
There you go. We'll see you in Boulder. Travis, Jake, and RK, when y'all getting Rob J back on? I don't know. We can get Rob J back on soon. We've got some players coming up, though.
Yep. Got some great guests coming up.
Steven with another question. Didn't Emmitt Smith pull Prime aside a while back and say he has a recruit for him? Was it Emmitt Smith?
I don't know.
It may have been. I think it was at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think it was Emmitt Smith.
That for Coach Prime is like someone telling Jay-Z, like, hey, you got to listen to my boy's CD.
Right.
He just dropped his EP, bro. You got to check this out.
Like, send it to my assistant. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's like, I got this guy for you. 0 stars,
sure.
but.
Yep. Kay, do y'all see Travis playing more wide receiver or cornerback? I'm thinking wide receiver has more talent coming in at cornerback. He's going to play both ways. I'm still on the wide receiver train.
Yeah, We talked about it a lot. There hasn't been any new developments necessarily.
Yeah.
I guess the newest development would be at the very end of spring ball, Travis played more corner than we had ever seen before.
But I believe he's in Dallas right now, and I think he's training with another wide receivers coach.
Yes, he is training with, David something.
Is it on his Instagram?
They'll get it in the comments in like the next 3 seconds. He is like the most famous wide receivers coach. In terms of like the individual. I mean, Jerry Judy's worked with this guy, Emmanuel Sanders, you name them, they've worked with this guy. And yeah, Travis was there. I saw Quentin Johnston was there too. It's cool to see him running in those circles.
Yeah. He's obviously still trying to refine those skills for a reason.
David Robinson. I was gonna say David Robinson, and then all I could think about was the Admiral. And I was like, I'm just thinking David Robinson because of David Robinson.
PJ Bird also says it was Brian Dable that pulled Coach Prime aside about a dog. I do remember reading about that.
Where was that? The Super Bowl?
So remember when Coach Prime came and he awarded the Coach of the Year award, I think, to Brian Dable.
Oh,
it was when they were walking off.
NFL honors.
Yes, NFL honors. That's what it's called.
Yes.
Duncan, do we think it's a bowl year, guys?
I'm leaving my schedule open in the second half of December.
Yep. I'm hopeful. Go
to like San Diego.
That'll be fun.
San Antonio.
Man, if they send this team to the South, though, anywhere in the Southeast, it's a goddamn party.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to be no matter what.
Oh, for sure.
Texas. Somewhere.
Jamel
asked, what's Chopper Circle? Chopper Circle is the street that the Nuggets play on.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I would butcher his last name if I tried it right now, but Chopper was a long time Nuggets trainer. So long that he got a street named after him, and that's where the Nuggets play now.
Wow, what a legend.
Yep.
Just like, don't they have, what's the Packers street they play on? Lamarty Avenue or something
Probably,
like that?
Yep.
Interesting.
They should name more streets after people.
That would be cool. Better than whatever random name it's been for 80
president.
years. Yeah. All the streets that are, I don't know, there's Colorado Boulevard here. There's one up in Boulder too.
Just states.
Yeah.
There's Pennsylvania. Like
it's the exact same back home in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
too.
I know. I was like, let's get a little more creative here.
Louisiana, Wyoming.
I mean, when they're doing this, they're like, all right, we have 2,000 streets to name. What are just some things that we can just list off? They're like, all right, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, California.
Well, if you go to Utah, Salt Lake City, they just count the streets.
Just numbers?
That's all they are.
I mean, that's how it is. Yeah.
It's kind of weird, though.
Well, then you go to New York, and it's numbers going both ways.
Right.
That messes me up.
Yeah, that's how it is in Utah, too.
Oh,
it's
really?
Numbers going both ways, but then it's like a south or a north attached to an east or a west.
It's on the corner of 1st Avenue and 2nd Street.
Yeah, it'd be like it's on the corner of 200 South and 400 North.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll give it a try. Chopper Travellini.
There you go. Well done.
Thanks.
Anything else today? That's it. A little bit shorter one today. We got some bangers coming up, though. Be back tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.